gorgeous people. This is Amazon's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you found my channel. I like to do fashion and craft DIYs, as well as share my shoe collection, shopping hauls, and subscription boxes with you. If any of that is of interest, please consider hitting that subscribe button and go ahead and click that notification bell so you don't miss any time I upload a video. All right, guys, in today's video, I'm finally bringing back the DIYs. Guys, it's been really difficult for me to get these DIYs done and ready for the Make It Mondays, but I'm going to make it a point from this point forward, if that makes sense, to go ahead and make sure that I work at least one of the DIYs in each week. Mondays will be a craft DIY and Fridays will be a fashion DIY, so that is the plan. Let's hope that I can stick to it. But in today's video, I'm getting ready for my fall craft show, and I made one of those candy acorn trees out of paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls. So this is a great way to reuse these things. I love working with the toilet paper and paper towel rolls. I think when you paint them, they make such an awesome rustic kind of a look. So enough babbling about the craft. Let's jump into how I made this candy acorn tree with lights. Okay guys, I have 6 paper towel rolls here that I'm going to use to build my base. I'm going to take those and I'm going to cut them in half long ways. So just take your scissors, cut each of them in half long ways, just like that. Now that they're all cut in half, you're going to take your glue gun. You're going to slap some glue down the side there as close to the edge as you possibly can. You're going to grab another one and you're going to just put it right on top, just like that, and hold it in place until everything is nice and secure. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same process and add one more paper towel roll to the end of this here. So I'm just adding a generous amount of glue and I'm just going to slap that right on there and hold it into place till it's nice and secure. So I'm going to go ahead and make another set just like that. So here's my 2 sets that I have of 3 paper towel rolls glued together. So now I want to glue those 3 sets of paper towel rolls together. Hopefully that makes sense. Now you're going to definitely want to do this in sections, because if you try to run a strand of glue all the way down this whole thing, I promise you that it's going to curl up and you're going to burn yourself about 30 times before you get it to the finish line. So just make sure that you do this in sections so that you can make sure that you're not wasting glue and trying to do something that's probably impossible. Just saying. Okay, so now that I have all of those glued together, I'm going to try to roll these into a cone. Guys, I'm not going to lie. This isn't easy. So you're just going to have to, just kind of squeeze them together at the very top to try to form the top of the cone, and then just roll it into place and just kind of make it so that it looks like a cone. Once you're happy with it, you're going to go ahead and glue that top part down so that you make sure that you secure everything you just did. And then I move it to the side and then just go ahead and run some glue to the inside of it and then just glue the rest of it down. I hope that all makes sense, guys. I'm not going to lie though, it's not easy to make cones with these. You might have to play with it for a little bit, but you'll eventually get it. So now that I have all of that done, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, press it down so that I can cut it and make it as even as I possibly can. This too is always one of the parts that I struggle with. So I cut it across and then I put it down into place and it's definitely not setting right. So then I just pick it up and then I just start cutting stuff away until I can get it to set down to the point where it's like somewhat level, I guess you can say. And you just have to play with this, guys. That's all I can say. So now that I have it to the point where I have it setting somewhat straight on there, I'm going to go ahead and glue the inside down. It's important that you do this too to make sure that everything is totally secure, because this is your structure to build everything on. Okay, now I'm going to do what's called a flooding method on the outer edges of this, just to take that extra step to make sure everything's really, really secure. And I highly suggest you take this step because you won't see any of this. This is all going to be totally covered. And it's very important to make sure that your structure is nice and sturdy. So I did it to the inside as well as the outside. Okay, now that we have our structure built, we're going to start working on the branches that we're going to use to make the tree. And here I have a toilet paper roll that I'm going to cut in half, and I'm going to do that with about, I think I used 18 of these for the orange color. So I'm going to paint these this orange color. This is apple bear paint that I got from Walmart. I think it's like 50 cents. I'm just going to slap some of the paint on there, and I'm using a cheap makeup sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree. I think they're like, you get a pack of 25 for $1. I love using these, especially when I'm painting like the toilet paper rolls or the paper towel rolls, because it makes the process go that much faster. And if you have an issue with getting paint all over your hands, just put some gloves on. So now that I've painted the inside of these, I'm just painting the outside. You want to make sure that you paint both sides the color, whatever color it is that you're using. In this case, I'm using orange. So now we're going to move on to painting. I think I used, I want to try to remember so bad, guys. I think I painted 18 more of these, this yellow color. So it's the same process, guys. Just squirt some paint on there, slather it around. And then this paint here is white outdoor paint. This is all that I had. I didn't have any of the cheap paint. So you can still use the cheap paint, guys. I'm just using what I had available to get this DIY done. So I ended up painting about 10 of these, this white color. Okay, so now that all of that's done, they're totally dry, I'm going to take the paper towel roll, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut that half in half again. Now, I just eyeball this part, guys, but if you want to take the time to measure them to get them exactly the same size, you can do that, but honestly, I don't think it's necessary. So now I'm taking one of those pieces we just created, and I'm just folding them over top of each other, just like that. I'm going to slap a staple in there, ba-boom, you got a branch. So I'm taking the piece here, folding them on top of each other, just like that, and boom, a staple, good to go. So now I have a string of lights here, and anytime you get lights, you want to make sure they all work before you string them into the tree, because there's nothing worse than stringing all these lights into the tree only to find out that they don't work. Okay, so now I'm taking one of those branches that we just created. I'm going to slap some glue onto the inside of it, and then I'm going to glue it as close to the bottom as I possibly can. I'm trying to cover up that bottom edge as much as possible, and that's the best way I can explain what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to take another piece, and I'm going to put it as close to that piece that I just put on the bottom as I possibly can. And this is the process to build this tree, guys. So you're just taking another branch, gluing it as close to the other branch as you possibly can. Now you're going to want to hold your glue in place for a really long time, guys. You want to make sure that it's almost completely set before you remove your hand from there. And the main reason you want to do this is because if you take your hand away too soon, I promise you these branches are going to start to pop off, and it's going to really upset you, especially when you're close to being finished with the tree. I'm just saying. Okay, so now that I have the bottom row completely built, I'm going to go ahead and start stringing my lights into the tree. So what you're going to see me do here is wrong. I was so upset, guys, but I'm so glad that I caught it early. But I'm taking the very edge of the lights, and then I'm stringing them into the tree. But you want to start with the light bulb that is closest to the battery pack so that you can put the battery pack underneath the tree. Now, I do catch this pretty early, and I am able to correct it, but I promise you if I had done the whole tree this way and realized it like too late, I would have maybe not been able to save it. It would have been really hard. So nonetheless, now that I've put that layer in, what you're going to do is not this. I did it wrong again. You're not going to want to put the glue on first. You're going to want to put the light bulb through the little tree branch first, then put your bead of glue on, and then put it in place wherever it wants to land on that second row. You want to make sure that you put all the light bulbs in first though. So put your light bulb in first. Okay, I'm doing it right now. I messed up that first one, which is awesome. So put your light bulb in first, and then take a little bit of glue, put it on the back of it, and then put it into place wherever it wants to land. You want to make sure that you string the whole row with the light bulbs first. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking the light bulb, slapping it into the little branch, and then I'm sticking a little bit of glue just to build this row out first with all of the light bulbs. Okay, I hope this is making sense. All right, so now it looks like this, and you have all these wires showing. We don't want to see those wires, but we're about to cover them up. So I'm going to take one of the little branches, I'm going to stick some glue on the inside, and then I'm just going to put it right above that wire so that it's not on the wire, but it's going to cover the wire. Again, I hope that makes sense. At this point, I realized that I totally messed up the way that I put the lights in, so now I'm fixing it. I'm taking the light bulb that is closest to the battery pack, and I'm going to put that in first. Please don't make that same mistake, guys. I was really, really jacked when I realized this, but I cannot stress enough how happy I was that I realized I did this early on. It would have been a nightmare to attempt to fix it later. I'm just saying. So I'm going to go ahead and string all these back in, and then we're going to pop back into me doing that second row so that you can see how you're supposed to finish it. Gosh, this is such a mess. Okay, so I'm putting the battery pack underneath, and that's how it's supposed to go. All right, so now see these wires? We want to work on covering up these wires. So again, you take a little branch, you put some glue on it, you put it as close to the branch that is already there, but so that you're covering up the wire. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm finishing up this piece here. So here's without coverage of the wire, there's coverage of the wire. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I have the second row completely done. So we are going to continue with this process. This is the way that you have to build this tree. So I'm taking that next light bulb to the next row. I'm sticking my branch into the little bulb here. I'm having a little bit of trouble, whatever. Then you're gonna slap some glue on there and then you're gonna hold it into place. This is the process, guys. This is how you're gonna build this entire tree. So now that I have that row done, I'm ready to move on to my yellow, and it's the same thing, guys. You just pop the little tree branch into the light bulb and you slap some glue on there and you build all that row with the little light bulbs first, and then you fill in to cover up the wires. And you just do this process all the way up. So now I'm to the point where I need to add another strand of lights. I really wish that I found lights that were long enough to do these and not have to do 2 battery packs, but I've yet to find any that I like that work. So I'm putting that last light bulb through from the strand of lights that is currently already on there and strung all the way through the tree. Okay, so now to take the next strand and add it on there, I'm taking the light bulb closest to the battery pack. We're doing it right this time. And I really don't know how to explain this, guys, but I am just working that wire in to wherever it wants to go so that it's completely, well, not completely covered, but as covered as I possibly can get it. So I'm just weaving this wire in through to that row where I need to start at. And that's the best way that I can explain what I'm doing. I know that's not really a great explanation, but that's literally what I'm doing, guys. I'm just weaving this wire into these branches, covering it as best as I possibly can, just to get that light bulb up to that row where I need it to start at. So once I'm finally done working all of that in, I'm just going to take that light bulb and do the exact same process that you've seen us doing this entire time. So I'm just going to slap that little branch on there and build the rest of this row out and finish the rest of the tree. Okay, so now that I have all of that done, I'm going to go ahead and Velcro these battery packs into the inside of the bottom of the tree. So I'm just going to take this really super strong, sticky Velcro, and I put, the one Velcro end on there, and then I'm going to put the other one on top of it, and then I'm just going to stick it right into the bottom of the tree. This way it will enable people to be able to take these battery packs off to change the batteries when they run out, and it makes it a lot easier to display the tree. Just make sure you're putting the little light switches at the bottom so that it's easy to turn the tree on and off, just like that. Boom. Oh, this was a lot better, guys. I wish I would have done this with some of the ones that I sent out already. Okay, so now the top of the tree, obviously we're not going to leave it like that. I have this sheer white ribbon that I'm going to put at the top, and I'm literally just taking it, guys, and tying it into a bow that you would tie your shoelaces with. Okay, that's literally what I'm doing here. And then I'm just forming it and making it, I don't want it to be too big, so I'm making it as small as I possibly can, but making it look as nice as I possibly can. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to cut off my excess here, and then I already made one, so I'm going to match it up and make sure that they're somewhat the same size. And then we're going to go ahead and take these and glue them to the top of the tree. Pretty simple. Okay, so I'm just taking it. This is what I want to do, put it right on the top just like that. So I'm just going to slap some glue on there, put it on the top, hold it into place until it's literally just about dry, guys. I can't stress how important that is. And then I'm going to take the other one and glue it to the other side, because obviously we're trying to hide all this. We don't want people to see any of that. So I'm just going to glue it into place, hiding all the stuff that I don't want people to see. And I see that staple, you can see it now, but I end up fixing it later. So don't worry, you can maneuver and fix stuff as you need to. And obviously I don't want the little ribbons to be this long, so I'm going to dovetail the ends, and then I cut it wrong to dovetail it, which is awesome. So I go ahead and fix it because I wanted it to be shorter anyways, and I dovetail it the right way, and that's the finishing touch to this. I'm going to do that to all of the remaining strands, and when I'm done, boom, here's the final result, guys. I think it turned out so super cute. I love this piece. So we're going to zoom in here, and as you can see, there's definitely going to be imperfections in these things because I did use toilet paper rolls. I'm just saying, everything's not going to be perfect, but I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I think it is so super pretty, and I went ahead and showed you what it looks like when it's all lit up in the dark. I think this is gorgeous, guys. I just love this. I'm going to go ahead and make a few more of these for my craft show. I do make and sell these at my craft show, and I think that they are awesome. All right, guys, that's all I got for you in this tutorial. Let's go ahead and jump into my final thoughts. Okay guys, so in my area where I have all of my craft shows and stuff, I'm known for my ribbon trees with lights, but I decided to make a sustainable version of that with the paper towel rolls and the toilet paper rolls. I personally love these versions. I think they are so super pretty and it's sustainable, so I just love that. But nonetheless, I wanted to make sure that I made you guys aware before I forget that when you do that bottom row, that first row that you do of the little branches, and then you insert the lights into that bottom row, make sure that you tape those lights into place. What I personally like to use is like a fabric tape, because I find that I can find those in the colors, like various different colors and designs and all this fun stuff. So I buy the fabric tape in like an orange color, for example, in this case, and I'll take pieces of that tape and I will tape those wires into place to make sure that they don't pop out the bottom. That's a very important thing that you need to do, and something I totally forgot to mention in the video, so I apologize for that, but I'm letting you know now. For those of you who actually watch all the way to the end, you'll get that useful tip. Alright guys, this was a super fun craft to do. I have many more sustainable crafts to come that I want to share with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! What's up, gorgeous people? That seemed a little off. Try it again. My name is Meeks. If you're new here, so look at my hair sticking up. I mean, I kind of think it is, but got stuff on it. You know, we're just gonna roll with it. Okay. It's in about a month, and I'll have a lot of fall and Christmas crafts that I'm going to have on display for sale there. And does that make sense? On display for sale? For sale. Good. Try it again. I think this is a super fun, easy way to reuse something, so I went ahead and decided to I messed up. It's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and film all of the, well, not all of the, most of the crafts that I'll be making to sell when I'm at the show. Ugh. I just messed up, and it messes me up, so I've started again. In place so that they don't fall out. Just a note that I wanted to make sure that I let you guys aware. Oh, damn. In a color that would match what you're doing in your projects. So I like to get like an orange color in this example and take that ah! All right, try it again. Okay, guys. So, yeah. Okay guys, so in my area, I am known for my ribbon trees with lights, so I decided to take, okay, anyway.